All right, part 3 of solving equations. Now, what we'll say, this is harder, yeah, but really what that means is just more steps. All right, whenever maths questions get more difficult, you know what? It's just more steps. They're just getting 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 of the simple stuff and just gluing them together, okay? So we're not going to change our process. We're just going to expand it out a little bit. So solving equations part 3, these are the difficult ones. These are the ones that'll, sort out an A from a B from a C. All right, so what if we've got 2 brackets, 5x minus 1 equals 28. Okay, well, there's lots more moving parts here, isn't it? We started off with just stuff like 5x minus 1, but now we've got this on the outside. All right, so, well, you know what? We're not going to change our process at all. The thinking process, oops, the bucket there. The thinking process is exactly the same. Okay, and that's what you need to really click onto. You're not changing the way you go about this. There's just going to be more steps. Okay, so remember originally we said, righto, what is the first thing that's done to x? Well, times by 5. Because BOMDAS says what happens in the brackets happens first. All right, so we're just dealing with in the brackets here. So within the brackets, times 5 happens. But then we're going to subtract 1. That's the next thing. And then on the outside of the brackets, we multiply by 2. Okay, so let's just go through that again. The first thing that happens to x is I multiply by 5. The next thing is I subtract 1. And finally, you multiply by 2. All right, so working from the inside out. And I've got my little list here. All right, so what am I going to do with that? I'm going to put it in reverse. If I multiply by 5, I divide by 5. If I subtract 1, I add 1. If I times 2, I divide 2. That's my game plan. This one's got 3 steps. Before, we had 2 steps. You're just going to apply these steps to both sides. That's the key, to both sides. And the answer will come out. All right, so I'll definitely use different colours here. So here we go. I'm just going to put a bunch of these in. All right, so first thing is I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Now, I'll show you a trick of how to write that out. You don't use the divide sign. You do this. I'm dividing both sides by 2. That's what it looks like. I probably should have spaced this out a bit more. Okay, so cancel, cancel. That's easy. So what have I got on here? I've got 5x minus 1. It's just cancelled that there. And the brackets can vanish. 28 divided by 2, well, that's 14. Oh man, this is looking a bit scrappy. Sorry about that. Okay. Righto, done. Tick, done that one. Righto, now I add 1 to both sides. Alright, so I've got 5x minus 1. I've got 14. I'm going to add 1, add 1. They go, they vanish. So I've got 5x equals 15. And you can kind of see where it has gone now. That one's done. Lastly, I'm going to divide by 5. Cancel, cancel. Oh, what's going on here? I've got 15 divided by 5, so that's 3. And the last thing that's left here is x. As it fits on the screen there, x equals 3. Oh, well, let's do our usual thing. Let's put it all the way up there. So what have I got? 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 1 is 14. 14 times 2 is 28. Okay, so it's nothing new really, there's just more of it. Okay, and that's the trick. There's just more of it. Let's try this. Let's see. 3x over 2 plus 5 equals 8. Alright, so again, what have I got? What happens first to x? Well, I'm going to do the multiply first. If I multiply x by 3 there, well, what's the next thing that happens? Well, this divided by 2 has to happen next before I go adding 5. According to BOMDAS, that's the way it works. So I divide by 2. And lastly, I add 5. Okay, what's going on there now? I go minus 5 times 2 divide 3, and there's my game plan. If I do work from there up. Okay, so just to save a bit of time, I'm not going to change colours, but I'll put some equal signs in. Just a reminder too, keeping your equal signs underneath each other in a column makes life a lot easier. Alright, so what have I got? I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I've got 3x over 2 plus 5 minus 5, 8 minus 5. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm subtracting 5 from both sides. 5 minus 5 vanishes in a puff of smoke. And over here I've got 3. So I've got 3x over 2 equals 3. Okay, so actually I will use some colour there. So that's gone. And all that's left is that. Okay, so that there is gone. Righto. Done. Tick that one. Now I multiplied both sides by 2. So multiplying both sides by 2. What have I got here? I've got 3x over 2 equals 3 times 2. Alright, so that there just comes straight down, and that's that. And I'm multiplying both sides by 2. Alright, well, 2 on the top there, 2 on the bottom, cancel, cancel. So what have I got? 3x equals 6. Done. Alright, now I divide both sides by 3. I was going to scrunch it up here a little bit. X equals 2. It kind of fits on the screen there. Moving all the way back up here. Let's put 2 in there. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. Done. Okay, time for some practice. Practice of the difficult ones. Now, what have I got over here? Let's see. Let's go 4x over 3 minus 1 equals 7. Now, and I know this is really going to test you, this one here, because I haven't quite done it like this, but just to follow the steps, okay? So if we do these two as practice ones, hit the pause button, and we'll come back in a few minutes, okay, and see how we're going. Okay, so you hit the pause button, go and do these. All right, let's do them. What have I got here? Now I'm going to scrunch it up a little bit here. First thing that does here is multiply by 4, then I divide 3, then I subtract 1. Okay, what's happening here? So I add 1 times 3, divide 4. That's my game plan. Just looking a bit squished up there. Alright, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I'll just move it all over here just to fit it in. Boom, that's this one here. Adding 1 to both sides. That is gone. Okay, so what have I got? 4x over 3 equals 8. Excellent. Now I multiply by 3, so I'm going to go 3 times 4x over 3 equals 8 by 3. By the way, that's why we often don't use multiply signs, because it looks very similar to an x. Cancel, cancel. 4x equals 24. Now I divide by 4. Cancel, cancel. And that's x equals 6. Okay. Now I'll do this one over here. What's going on? I can multiply by 2, then I add 4, because that's the brackets all has to happen first. In the B in BOMDAS is brackets, so what happens in the brackets first, and then lastly, I divide by 6. All right, chuck it in reverse. There's my game plan. All right, so let's go. I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. So I've got 2x plus 4 all over 6. 6 on the top, 6 on the bottom, they cancel. So I've got 2x plus 4 equals 12. Done that one. Now I subtract 4. That there's gone. So I've got 2x equals 8. Done that one. And now I divide by 2. Cancel, cancel. X equals 4. All right, okay. Let's just check this one. I didn't check that one over there, but let's put that back in. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 divided by 6 is 2. It works. Okay. If you can do those, then you are pretty well set up for just about anything that the exam will give you. Okay, these are about as hard as you're going to get, I reckon, in a Year 7 context. But keep in mind, we're still doing the same thing. There's just a little more of it. Okay, there's 3 steps, not 2. Okay, but you're still thinking the same way, and that's the important thing. You're thinking through the same steps. Okay? All right, that's enough there.